One summer night, my friends, Kevin, Ryan, Tommy, and I were staying at Kevin's family cabin in the remote woods of Minnesota. We'd been there countless times, but this night felt different. Around midnight, while sitting by the campfire, we saw something strange in the lake, a floating head with long black hair and pale, lifeless skin about 75 yards away. It stared at us, unmoving. At first, we convinced ourselves it was a loon, but it didn't budge for over an hour. Something about it felt wrong, unnatural. Later, when I went outside to relieve myself, I saw that the figure had moved even closer. Only 30 yards away now, still staring, its face more detailed now, pale and gaunt with no real features, just a void of darkness where eyes should be. The hairs on my neck stood up. I rushed inside and told the others. We all agreed it was time to leave. But as we tried to sleep, I heard footsteps outside, slow, deliberate pacing, like someone was walking around the deck. It was followed by a sudden heavy breathing, too close for comfort. Then Ryan came running out, wide-eyed and pale. He'd seen something in his window, an eye, ghostly white, peering in at him. He said it looked like something standing nearly 8 feet tall, its face twisted and wrong, as if it had no right being there. The horror on his face was enough to make me freeze in place. We grabbed our things in a panic and hurried down the stairs. That's when we saw barefoot prints in the dirt around the cabin, fresh, deep, and eerily human. We sprinted to the boat and left without a second thought. On the ride back, Ryan broke down in tears, asking, "What was it? What did I see?" His breakdown lasted for weeks, and he had to seek counseling to sleep again. To this day, I can't explain what we saw. Nothing made sense, especially with the figure by the lake and the one in Ryan's window. Whatever it wasn't human, and it left us all terrified. Neither Ryan nor I will ever return to that cabin, but Kevin and Tommy have gone back without issue, but the darkness we felt that night still lingers in my mind. This happened about 9 years ago, but I still remember it like it was yesterday. My parents built a cabin in the northern White Mountains of Arizona before I was born. As a kid, I'd spend every summer up there exploring with my siblings and friends. We always avoided the abandoned property down the road, an eerie place with a dilapidated 2-story barn, an old airplane hangar, and a house surrounded by crows. We used to tell stories about it, but as we got older, we'd dare each other to go there. By the time I was 16, I was riding dirt bikes with my best friend Logan. One evening, we decided to check out the abandoned property again. I was on a faster bike and got there ahead of Logan. I was idling in front of the old white tractor barn when I saw something move in the corner of my eye. I thought it was nothing, but then I saw it. Pale, skinny hands gripping the doorframe of the barn. Then a head peeked around the corner, staring at me with dark, soulless eyes. It looked like Gollum from Lord of the Rings. It smiled at me, revealing sharp teeth. My heart raced and I couldn't look away. Before I could even think, I heard Logan's bike pull in. I gunned it, yelling for him to turn around. We bolted out of there, and when we got back to the cabin, Logan told me he'd seen the same thing, black eyes looking out at him from the side window of the barn. We never went back to that place. A few years later, the property was sold, and the barn was torn down. Even now, I still get chills thinking about what I saw. That thing, it was real, and it still haunts me. So it was just me and my cousin out at the cabin having some beers, playing cribbage, just a chill weekend. It was late, probably around midnight, and we were getting ready to call it a night. We had some music going, everything was relaxed, and it's just one of those nights when everything feels calm. The place is off-grid on 100 acres right by the river, and there's no one for miles. The road in is ours, family only. And sure, we've got the occasional black bear or coyote around, but nothing too crazy. Then out of nowhere, there's this huge bang on the back door. It was loud. It was so violent that it felt like the whole cabin shook. Bam, bam, bam. Like someone was trying to break the door down with a battering ram. The door and the windows were actually moving. We just froze. I don't think either of us even blinked for a second. We just stared at the door, not knowing what the hell to do. Then, nothing. Absolute silence. I mean dead silence. No crickets, no frogs, not a single sound. It was like the whole forest just held its breath. We sat there looking at each other, not sure if we were both hearing things or what. After what felt like forever, the sounds of the night started coming back. But we didn't move, didn't make a sound. My cousin's the first one to get up and check the windows, shining a flashlight outside. It was pitch black, nothing but the woods. My cousin swore he saw some eyes shining back at him, but I didn't see anything. That freaked me out even more. We double-checked the doors and windows. Everything was locked. But we didn't sleep. A wink after that. We stayed up in the loft, just sitting there, holding onto a pocket knife like it was going to do anything. Neither of us said much, but we were both on edge, listening for every little creak, every twig snap, every wind gust. Felt like we were waiting for something. By the time daylight finally came, we packed up and left, no questions asked. We went to check the back door, and there was a dent in it, like something had really hit it hard, and the door frame was starting to break. We had to replace it, but we never found out what the hell happened. I don't know what it was, but I still can't shake the feeling from that night. Whatever it wasn't normal.